August 2nd, 216 BC. The sun rises over the dusty plains of Cannae in southern Italy, revealing Rome's worst nightmare. 86,000 Roman legionaries, the largest army Rome has ever assembled, stand ready for battle. Facing them is something they don't yet understand: a Carthaginian general named Hannibal, who has been planning their destruction for 2 years. His army numbers only 50,000, outnumbered nearly 2 to 1. By every conventional measure, Rome should win this battle, but in the next 8 hours, 70,000 Romans will die in the most perfect tactical execution in military history. Consul Gaius Terentius Varro commands the Roman force, convinced that sheer weight of numbers will crush the invader. He has deepened his legionary formations to 50 ranks in some places, creating a massive human battering ram. His co-consul, Lucius Aemilius Paulus, harbors reservations, but Roman tradition gives Varro command today. Today, he will get his battle. What he doesn't see is the trap Hannibal has laid. Hannibal deploys his army in a formation Rome has never seen. His Gallic and Spanish infantry form a convex crescent bulging toward the Roman lines, almost mocking them to attack. On the wings stand his African veterans wearing armor stripped from dead Romans. His cavalry, Spanish, Gallic, and Numidian horsemen, position on both flanks. Every detail is calculated. The Romans face into the wind, dust blowing into their eyes. Hannibal watches them advance and smiles. The Roman legions crash into Hannibal's center with devastating force. The Carthaginian line buckles backward, exactly as planned. The Romans press harder, sensing victory. Their deepened formations feed fresh troops into the fight continuously. Officers shout encouragement. The crescent bends backward, step by step, becoming concave instead of convex. The Romans don't notice they're being drawn into a pocket. Then death strikes from unexpected directions. Hasdrubal's heavy cavalry on Hannibal's left wing smashes through the Roman cavalry in minutes. Consul Paullus, fighting desperately, refuses an offered horse to escape. "I will not flee when I have sent so many Romans to their deaths," he says before Carthaginian cavalry cuts him down. The Roman right wing disintegrates. Hasdrubal makes a brilliant move. He doesn't pursue the fleeing cavalry. Instead, he rallies his squadrons and rides completely around the rear of the engaged infantry. The Roman legionaries, focused on pushing forward, don't see him coming. On the opposite flank, Numidian cavalry keep the Roman allied cavalry occupied, while Hasdrubal arrives behind them like a hammer. Varro's cavalry breaks and flees. Varro himself escapes the field. Now the trap springs shut. Hannibal's African infantry, waiting in deeper formations on both flanks, wheel inward. The Romans suddenly face enemies not just to their front, but on both sides. Confusion ripples through their ranks. Then Hasdrubal's cavalry closes the final gap, charging into the Roman rear. 80,000 Roman soldiers are completely surrounded on a field barely a mile wide. What follows is not battle, but systematic execution. The Romans cannot advance. Hannibal's center has stiffened. They cannot retreat. Cavalry blocks their rear. They cannot maneuver. African infantry presses from both sides. Varro's deepened formation becomes a death trap. Legionaries in the middle and rear are packed so tightly they cannot move their arms. Ancient historians record that some suffocate in the press of bodies before blades reach them. The Carthaginian tactics become brutally simple: compress the pocket, kill the outer layers, compress further. Hannibal's troops fight in rotating shifts. The Romans have no such luxury. They stand trapped, unable to rotate, unable to rest, able only to die. The summer sun beats down mercilessly. Men die from heat exhaustion and wounds simultaneously. The dust becomes so thick, visibility drops to feet. Hours pass. The Roman pocket shrinks. Dead men carpet the ground in such numbers the living stand on corpses. Small groups of legionaries attempt to cut their way out. Perhaps 15,000 eventually escape, though many die in pursuit. For the vast majority, there is no escape. Numidian cavalry rides around the perimeter, cutting down anyone who breaks free. By nightfall, 70,000 Roman soldiers lie dead or dying. The ground is so thick with bodies one could walk hundreds of meters without touching earth. The Aufidus River runs red. Hannibal's casualties? Perhaps 6,000 men. He has killed more than 10 Roman soldiers for every one lost. It is the most lopsided victory in ancient warfare history. Hannibal's officer Hannibal urges immediate march on Rome. "Within 5 days you shall feast in the capital." But Hannibal refuses. He has won the perfect battle that will ultimately lose the war. Rome, against all rational calculation, refuses to surrender. They will raise new armies and fight for 14 more years. Cannae teaches military academies worldwide the perfect encirclement, but it also teaches a harder lesson. Tactical genius alone cannot win wars. Hannibal achieved perfection on the battlefield, yet never took Rome. Wars are won not by battles alone, but by resources, determination, and the will to continue. Rome lost its army, but not its spirit, and that made all the difference. 70,000 men died in 8 hours, but their sacrifice forged Rome into something unbreakable. Hannibal won Cannae. Rome won everything else.